Good afternoon and welcome to everyone. Ms. Pfister, will you call the roll?
Council President Wilkerson.
Present.
Councilmember Dillon.
Here.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Present.
Councilmember Bingle.
Here.
Councilmember Sapone.
Here.
Councilmember Klitsky. Present. Councilmember Navarrete.
Here.
Let the record reflect that all council members are present.
Thank you. Before we go into our agenda, we have one board and commission interview. We are so honored to have our former Mayor John Powers here. For those who don't remember him, come on down, John. For the position of the Health Science and Services Authority of Spokane. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, because we don't have that much time, and then why you're interested in serving on this particular board.
Thank
Welcome.
you, Council President Wilkerson and all members of the council. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you about my interest in serving on the HSSA board, the Spokane County Health Services and Science Authority. Someone advised me that oftentimes at least one member of this council likes to know a little bit about my background and connection to this community. It starts in 1934 when my father lost his father here in Spokane, and he and his two brothers moved to Spokane with their widow mother. The oldest went to Gonzaga, went on to be an Air Force officer out of their cadet program. My father, the middle son, went to Lewis and Clark High School in an apartment not far from the Davenport Hotel. And the youngest son, Ted, went on to Cataldo Catholic School, where my old children all gone, and all of my children as well have gone to Lewis and Clark High School. So Spokane is home in many respects for generations. I also had the distinct honor of serving as mayor of this community, elected in 2000 and serving for a 3-year term, 1, 2, and 3. They were a fast 3 years. We got some things done, but not all things done, and you know as elected officials, that's usually the case. Since leaving the opportunity or the post of mayor of Spokane, I've been involved in economic development work for 20 years, both on the west side, working for what was the Seattle-King County Economic Development Alliance, and that was very steep in serving the growing, burgeoning health, life science, bioscience sector on the west side. The good news is that sector is growing here and growing rapidly in eastern Washington, thanks to many, many things, including the University District, home to 6 different institutions conferring over 14 degrees or certificates in the health and life science sector, 2 medical schools that graduate more doctors here in Spokane than anywhere else in the Pacific Northwest. We should be very proud of that and continue to work to retain the growth in that area through funding and servicing residency programs, which are kind of the stickiness in that area to keep those professionals here in Spokane. So in my economic development work over the last 20 years, I've been involved in the health life science area, both on the west side, working with the Washington State Life Science Commission, and I know their director, Mark Cummings, and now here in Spokane since returning home 4 years ago in September 2020 and engaging the GSI component of this, which includes a executive advisory committee, which I've served on, and also worked on the strategic regional plan. A large measure of that focuses on health and life sciences in the future. And when people ask me to describe what that opportunity is, I say to them, in my opinion, humble opinion, the life and health sciences sector in this community is to us today what timber, minerals, and agriculture was to our community 100 years ago. I'm convinced that that is a big part of our economic future, and it also is an industry or sector that provides good wages and also has a diversity, equity, and inclusion component to it if you look at those that are employed and trained in that area. So I seek to serve on that board with my perspective as an economic developer and a former public official and a community member for many, many years. I hope that you will support the mayor's nomination on my service on that board. I think I can contribute, especially in that economic development component of their mission. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Councilmember Bingle.
Well, Mayor, thank you for coming in and continuing to serve the city. I think we last saw each other at the Jubilant ribbon cutting.
Big news.
Absolutely, very exciting stuff. And so I've appreciated your work there particularly on the economic development side. I know for us in District 1, it does provide very good jobs and even unskilled positions for people in their warehouse that allow people to come on in and make good wages that they can really live on. So first off, thank you for that. Second, you mentioned the residency programs, and I've heard this quite a few times. And if you could briefly share with us, what are the things that we as a city could be doing to make some ground here?
Well, thank you very much. It's going to take a very large and collaborative approach to find the funding and to work with the local healthcare institutions and hospitals and clinics that offer residency programs, but they are very pricey. Let's not kid ourselves. It can be several $100,000 per year per residence to attract them and retain them and have them build their skills and practices here in our community. And when that happens, suddenly you have perhaps your first home, suddenly you may be starting a family, suddenly Spokane is home. And so when you look to the specialty area you may go into practice on, you're already seeing yourself here in this community, which is important. It's a very competitive area in the medical field. Those students get offers from all over the country, and we have to compete on that. And I think there's federal help on that. I think there's state help on that. I hope there's local help from the institutional and educational organizations. So it's a big lift, but I think if we focus on it and make it a priority, we can accomplish it.
Now, lastly, just say I appreciate your vision and what you see as far as how big this sector is going to be for us. I mean, you're talking about timber and mining and things that were massive, economies here that have since gone away, and we're finding new ways to invest in the future of our people. So I appreciate that. Anything I can do to help in your efforts here, I am very open because I really like a lot of what you just said, and I want to see it happen. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, here's one way that I think everyone in the room here tonight can help on this heavy lift. When you go into a big and bold new sector development, you have to look at three sectors of capital. The first is financial. Sometimes they say it's not about the money. It's always about the money, and you know that in public policy. The second and most essential, the target of that, is human capital, the workforce, the talent, the folks that are on the front line of delivering those services, or the research for a new drug or a new procedure or a new tool. And then the third is the social, political capital in that stack. That's where elected officials in particular and business leaders can play a huge role in bringing forward that initiative as a community priority. Once the mavens in the community work that social, political stack, things start to happen. So I think there is a distinct and important role for the City Council, working with county commissioners, working with state legislators, working with the federal delegation to make sure that they know that we're here prepared to move that sector forward.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Yeah, Mayor, thank you very much for your interest in this and for chatting with us today. I just want to say, we had a really great conversation a while back, and part of that, we talked a lot about the Northeast Public Development Authority and some things that could, happen there. Obviously, the bio life sciences was a part of that. And, we're seeing right now this massive expansion of Jubilant Hollister-Steer, which we have brought into the PDA boundaries. And I see an opportunity to co-locate a lot of like industries and related industries. And I just, from your perspective, citywide, not just within the PDA, but citywide, are there anything from a policy perspective or otherwise that we could be considering to make Spokane just a more attractive place for those types of industries to want to locate? Obviously, there's certain incentives to do that, but from the standpoint of, is this the right city or the right place for them to either expand or relocate? Is there anything that you would suggest or think that we should be considering as a part of that?
Interesting, and we were at that open house together. If I recall the projections announced that day, their current workforce was around 250, and they projected as high as 400 within a few years. Not quite a doubling, but close to that.
Yeah, I think that was line 3, and then line 4 is another doubling. So.
There you go. So with the workers today, what are they looking for? They're looking for affordable housing. First and foremost, in this marketplace, you've got to come up with solutions and offerings that make sense. Whether that employee is working for $20 an hour or whether that employee is making $100,000 or more, they need to see that this community has opportunity for them in housing. That's, again, a big lift, and it's a long-term, if you would, prospective challenge. But with things that this council's already done over the last couple of years, creativity relative to infill redevelopment and repurposing and density and code and all that, I think we can make some progress there, but that will be one of the things. The other thing is, no matter where you go, whether it be from Spokane to Boise to Missoula, you're looking to come into a community that is vibrant, a community that believes in itself, a community that's on the go, and I believe that reflects Spokane today.
Well, I really appreciate that. And in fact, look forward to chatting with you some more about some stuff that we've got going on in the PDA that includes affordable housing and odd-hour childcare and stuff like that. So really exciting stuff on the horizon.
Very good.
Any other questions? Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to working with you and you serving.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll turn it over to Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Council President. I believe we only have one item for briefing today, and that is item number 6, OPR 2025-0014, which will be briefed by Carrie Cedarquist.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, Council. So CHHS asked for a deferred vote on just 1 out of 3 of the new subcontracts for eviction prevention, and that was because the sub initially cited some challenges related to the spending timeline. So that led us to further discussion about the underlying factors. We learned that their budget had been structured for 9 months rather than a 6-month period. And they were facing hiring challenges that also impacted their capacity. So to address this, they revised their budget and they reduced some of their operational costs, put them into rental assistance funds, which ensures a more timely fund allocation as well as program impacts. In addition, we recognize that their staff may be managing a high workload for during this hiring challenge, and so we reached out with support for technical assistance and process efficiencies, and so we feel confident this is a good contract moving forward with your approval.
Councilmember Bingo.
So one of the things that I know is that if we don't get the dollars out, then we lose them. And that's something that to me is just completely unacceptable. So it gave me pause when they said, hey, we can totally do this. Well, actually, maybe we can't do this. And so what sort of confidence level do we have now moving forward with this additional funding? Not to say it's a bad organization or anything, but we just need to get these dollars out the door. And so what sort of level of confidence do we have?
Yeah, definitely. I don't have a rating scale, but I would say a high level of confidence. And then we also monitor their spend down throughout. So given the short timeline, probably by the second month in, we would be looking, if they're slower to spend down, then we would look to offer assistance first, and then amendments can still be made to that budget.
Okay. Is that in the ordinance at all, or is that in the agreement?
That we can amend the contract? Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Carrie. And now I will hand it over to Policy Advisor Chris Wright.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a number of items to take up. There are no changes to the February 10th draft agenda contemplated, no changes to the updated draft for February 3rd contemplated, but we have a number of items that are on today's agenda that could affect those other two, if they're adopted by council. So the first one is proposed amendment to OPR 2025-0037, proposed by Councilmember Klitsky. This is item number 3 on the consent agenda, and it is a technical change. When that item was put on the agenda, it was listed at $149,000. The actual amount is up to, not to exceed, $250,000. The amendment makes the appropriate change and includes an updated agenda sheet to reflect that. So really a technical amendment.
Councilmember Bingo.
So just a change in the verbiage there, just a change in the amount. That's all that happened in this one.
Correct. So if Council President wants to entertain a motion
I'll
to
entertain a
amend.
motion.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved in second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Abstentions? Okay, that passes. Mr. Wright.
The next item is a request from Councilmember Navarrete to defer ordinance 36630 to the February 10th meeting. And then next week, we can take up an amendment that she has proposed. This particular ordinance is the one that talks about recruitment of bilingual or multilingual applicants to the city. Her amendment would add translator or interpretation services to the skills that you would include in the list of recruiting tools. So,
Any questions, comment? Entertain a motion for deferral.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second to defer until February 10th. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? That is deferred.
thank you, Council. The next item is a request to defer ordinance 36633. This is the historic preservation ordinance that you've had in front of you before. It was briefed at committee. This particular amendment, this is not an amendment, I apologize. This is a request to move the hearing date tonight to February 3rd. Now, I know that there is an amendment contemplated on this, maybe, maybe not, but we would hold the hearing on February 3rd only because the publication has already occurred for that date, and we don't want to have to republish the date. So we hold to the February 3rd date. If there's an amendment contemplated, you can take it up next week if you prefer. But at this time, we're just asking that you hold the hearing on February 3rd instead of tonight. So,
Councilmember Sapone?
So I'll move to defer the hearing to February 3rd
Second.
and 10th. Yes, the
Councilmember
3rd.
Bingo, before we vote, comment?
Yeah. In the packet here, it says staff requests the motion to defer. Who is that?
Plan.
Yeah, it was improperly noticed as the hearing, so it needed to be.
Yeah, we missed something in putting it in on base, so it shows up in the agenda as a final reading ordinance, but it needs to be a hearing. So basically, we just need another week, so it's noticed as a hearing.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then I was chatting with Spencer today about an amendment, but we don't think it might be necessary is the latest. It was basically concerned about the footprint and that if it didn't have to be the same footprint sizes before, that it could go smaller and you might have buildings that are maybe like coffee stands or underutilizing the space. But the current version, I mean, you just found it, so you can.
Yeah, I mean, the current language, I think, addresses the concerns that have been raised by a couple of council members, but if there is a desire for an amendment, I'm happy to work on anything, so.
Councilmember Klitzky?
I think we might elaborate on that. So the concern was, we want the building to be able to be larger or maybe slightly smaller than the footprint, but we want it to meet the centers and quarter standards of fronting the street. And so the concern was, if we allow a smaller footprint, would it be back and like parking lot in front and the things that we've already agreed that we don't want to see, but we think that the centers and corridors already covers that.
All right, so there is a motion and a second to February the 3rd. All those in favor, please, for the hearing date, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any noes? Abstention? That is approved.
thank you, Council. One last item. Councilmember Klitzky has proposed an amendment at the request of the administration to ordinance 36629. This is the hearing one item, and Spencer has anticipated this and is at the podium. This is technical to deal with facade requirements on garages. I don't know if you wanted to expand any more on that, but.
So this is part of our code amendments that came before you, I think, before the holiday break. So they've been before you a few times. We will have a presentation tonight at the legislative session. The amendments are almost entirely technical language changes, just to clarify some things. As our current planners kind of dove into the proposal, they identified some modifications to language that would make requirements clearer. There is one change of minor substance, and that is the requirements around modulating a facade, which is, providing some kind of visual interest or architectural variation in a facade. Under the current code that's already in place, that's required at 30 feet. and we require, beyond 30 feet, we require 4 different ways, cumulatively 4 different ways to modulate that facade. We wanted, the purpose of this whole proposal was to provide some additional flexibility. So the language that came through Plan Commission reduced that requirement to only 1 feature. So instead of 4 features, you only need 1. But we did propose to increase that to 40 feet, along with some, what ended up being an unnecessarily complicated scheme for determining how that length applies. So in the interest of simplifying and making the code easier, we're proposing to bring it back to 30 feet, but still only require 1 feature. So that's of minor substance, but again, in the interest of really just providing clearer code requirements.
So the motion to accept the proposed amendment?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? That is passed. All right, with that, I will ask for an approval of the agenda for February 27th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, at this point in time,
I think you need motions to approve the draft and agendas as well, so.
So moved.
absolutely. All right, for draft agenda for February 3rd and February the 10th. So there's
Second.
a moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Abstention? That's passed. All right, at this point in time, we will be going into executive session for the purpose of potential litigation. No action is anticipated to be taken. Are they here? Up for 30 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Piccolo, for 30 minutes. So we should be returning about 4:25. We have concluded executive session. No action was taken. We are in recess until 6 p.m.